It's time to pull those belts tight, race fans. The front stretch is coming at you, presented by Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs. Now, here's Dan Taylor and Dirk Houston.
Well, good morning to you, race fans, and welcome to the front stretch, presented by Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs, online at joeskarting.com. Fast-paced white-knuckle racing just across the river on 23rd Avenue in Council Bluffs. Get over to Joe's today and do yourself right with a little bit of indoor racing. Dirk, we got a big show lined up for you today, and it's a little bit of an odd show. We've done a bunch of pre-recorded interviews in the offseason to get everybody set, and the first one you're going to hear is our good friend Jim Howe over at Tuffy's Auto Center in Bellevue. He's going to talk about the Logan Hill Climb coming up on April 22nd. Then we're going to talk with Arie Schouten, the number 99 RE in the Sport Mod class throughout the Midwest. He's going to talk to us about his season, and then Joe Ciechanowski, who's the new promoter for Buena Vista Raceway, is going to join us in turn number 3, and then we'll preview today's race at Texas. But you might hear some outdated references, especially coming up in turn number 1, because we're going to talk about that Logan Hill Climb that's been now rescheduled twice.
Correct, yes. It was postponed. It was supposed to be
March 25th, I think.
Well, it was the weekend after the auto show.
Yeah.
That's that part I remember. I don't remember the specific date, and Mother Nature has just not cooperated,
right,
to let them get that in. But it does sound like a good time. It's a good interview. There's some neat stuff that they were showing us on their phones, some videos and stuff of some hill climb stuff. It's kind of cool when you sit there and you see a guy on a motorcycle and he's trying to get some heat into the engine. You see this guy with a leaf blower standing in front of his face. And what is that guy doing? Oh, he's keeping the nitrous fumes out of my face so I don't pass out.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's a good deal then.
That's a good thing.
But,
so if you hear any references to March 25th or coming up next weekend for the Logan Hill Climb, please ignore it, because it's actually going to be April 22nd. And we're going to be live that Sunday, so we'll make plenty of references during that live show after the Richmond Raceway race that to keep you reminded. But so I'm going to try to edit them all out because it is a pre-recorded interview. But just in case, just try to keep in mind the Logan Hill Climb has been rescheduled for April 22nd.
And then we might just leave the studio and pedal on up there.
Yeah, I would like to
catch a little bit of
That'd be a good Mother Nature pending. I would love to do that. So without further ado, thanks to Jim Howe and the Logan Hill Climb, the Tuffy's Tire and Auto Service in Bellevue. We were able to get a booth down at the auto show on March 17th. Hung out with him same day that Dale Earnhardt Jr. Well, I think Dale Earnhardt Jr. was talking about he was there the same day the front stretch was.
That's exactly what he said.
He was really impressed with us.
Oh, yeah.
Or he would have been had he ever even noticed we were there. So we got to sit down and talk to a bunch of guys, and Jim was one of them, and Jim owns the Tuffy's Tire and Auto down in Bellevue. And I got to tell you, if you ever have anything wrong with your vehicle, one of the hardest things to find in this life is a trusted mechanic. Jim's one of them, and they do a great job down there. And so we're joined now on the show, pre-recorded by Jim Howe and down there at Tuffy's Tire and Auto, who do a fantastic job.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we have a good time. We like to picture ourselves as people that are honest in the market. We don't try to sell you the whole checklist. We go for what you need, and I really appreciate the shout out there. I'm so excited today to be on the front stretch show and to have one of the best, awesomest guys in the area.
Dirk, right?
Dirk is always awesome.
Obviously.
Well, sitting next to Jim is a second-generation hill climber, and that's why we're talking here a little bit today, is Gary Wadell joining us on the show. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
I got it right. How about that?
First time for everything.
Yeah, there is a miracle.
The number of times Dirk sat back and said, the guy just said the name and you screwed it up. It's been my eternal issue in life.
But only one person ever got mad.
It happens.
The last name is always one that everyone messes up all the time.
And rightfully so, people are very protective of their last name.
It doesn't bother me. My daughter, it's a different story.
All right. Well, Gary, you're a second-generation hill climber, and I've watched these videos. Jim posts these things on his Facebook all the time. I think these sprint car guys and super late model guys are nuts. You guys are a special class.
It's a different breed. A lot of people like it's supposedly one of the oldest sports, hill climbing. It's over before flat tracking and any of that other stuff. But I tell people to come to the race. I said, you can sit on your lawn chair, have your cooler sitting next to you. You don't have to go nowhere. You can just watch some crazy guy go up a hill. Yeah. Sometimes you make it,
and maybe
sometimes
come
you
back
don't.
down.
Yes.
For those that,
maybe the easy way or the hard way, you come back down, one way or the other.
For those that we're talking about, it's a simple motorcycle, and you've got a steep hill with a ton of ruts. and the object is to get to the top of the hill.
Yeah.
It sounds easy.
It's a glorified drag strip motocross uphill.
Rocket launch.
You got to go as fast as you can from point A to point B, and they make the hill as rough as they can.
Is there any kind of a course before the hill starts and then after the hill starts, or is it just?
The West Coast circuit now is running hills with turns in them.
Okay.
So I'm old school. We just run straight up the hill from a straight line.
Yeah.
But now they got turns in them, and they make it more difficult because the bikes have increased in horsepower. They've increased in suspension. Back when I was running, doing pretty good, I rode a 60 model Triumph hardtail, no suspension, 3 inches of travel in the front end. Wow. Now my kids' bike got over 14 inches of travel.
14 inches.
That's one thing we have to correct Dan on. He said a simple motorcycle. These things are anything but simple.
That's true. I guess back in the day when everything started in racing, it was simple. It was you bought it off the lot or you bought it out of an old wood shed. And you went race with it, or the motorcycle was just real stock stuff. But anymore, nothing's simple.
No, there's nothing stock. Back in the day when I was first doing it, we couldn't extend the rear wheel. You had to run stock length. And like I said, I got protested down in Missouri against a guy running an XR 750 Harley, and a good friend of mine, but he protested me, and we measured our bikes. My bike was a half-inch shorter than his, and he protested me.
And he was protesting because he thought it would be longer.
Yeah, because it's just in a hardtail frame. It didn't have it looked like it was a mile long, but it wasn't. And we laughed about it because the next time I seen him, I says, "Oh, you going to protest me this year again?" And he says, "No, I'm leaving you alone."
I got to tell you something. Go. Listen to this. So I'm a young guy, and he's friends with a guy that's a living legend down in my neck of the woods named Bill Tolman. We got to give him a shout out.
Willie.
Uncle Bill. And I'm down there getting my little dirt bike fixed, right? I'm like, who's this guy? I like him. He's crazy. A birthmark in his hair, had a wild look in his eyes. And they go, that's Wadell. That's Wadell. And I said, why are you guys working on a chainsaw? We're supposed to be working on motorcycles, right? Well, Jim, we'll show you if you want to stick around. I called my mom. I said, can I stay? Yeah, you can stay. I look. They fire up the chainsaw. They put a special clutch drive on the end of a chainsaw, put it into the crankcase on the bike, fired it up, and started turning the bike over. Pop, 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 pop. Wing, pop, 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 boom, and it takes off. And this thing was a monster, let me tell you. People from all over came to see this bike, especially down Plattsmouth, Heps Hill, Troy, Kansas, Anamosa, Iowa. Wherever they went, it was a big show because no one's seen anything like this. You're starting a motorcycle with a chainsaw.
And still have that. Unfortunately, still have that.
Does it still run?
Yeah, it's amazing. We were moving the bikes around, and we usually drain all of the race fuel out so it doesn't hurt none of the seals and stuff of that nature. And we were moving the bikes around, and I says, it'd be funny if that bike still had gas in it and we could try it again and see if it'd run. And my kid says, I think it does. So we opened up the gas cap, and we had gas in it. It took me longer to get the chainsaw fired up to fire the bike up.
Now, you've been doing this for quite a while now. Any major injuries, any really scary moments?
Through my career, I've had a lot of sprains, broken ribs, broken collarbone. Luckily, knock on wood, nothing real severe. My kid has. There's a lot of racers that have had a lot of breaking bones. I mean, the majority of the time, you got to stop and think of motocross. If you're out in the front, or a flat track, if you're out in the front, you got the rest of them guys behind you that can run you over if you fall down. Well, hill climbing, all you have is the motorcycle and the hill.
Yeah, but if you're coming down the hard way, the motorcycle is going to run you over.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. It's going to come get a hold of you and take care of you.
Most hill climbers got a couple pounds of iron in them.
Yeah. How hard is it to get into one of this event? How hard is it
It's actually really easy. They've made it now with the buying a set of extensions, you a 450. If you're in the amateur, you have 250s and stuff like that. You put a set of extensions on it, and get your gearing figured out, and you can be very competitive.
Away you go.
Yeah, you can be very. Yeah,
you don't have to be licensed.
I got to tell you, it's like this. One of the easiest ground level events to get into, and it teaches you a little bit of everything. A competition with self, competition against others, how mechanical ability, how to get somewhere, how to park somewhere, how to get along with people. It's just one awesome sport, and I got to plug this if you don't mind.
Have at it.
Hillblazer Hill Climb in Logan, Iowa, where we always just send it, and it's going to be at least 300 motorcycles. There'll be 3,000 to 4,000 spectators, even if it's cold, even if whatever. We have so much fun. The food is great. The camaraderie is awesome. You will definitely have the time of your life.
Is my girl Kendra going to be there?
Oh, yeah. It's right on the hill.
This guy, listen.
You kidding me?
Let me tell you.
You don't want to look at me all day.
I know. Kendra would put some of these cars to shame for the beauty.
Oh,
we'll
Lord.
just clarify that for the radio.
Lord have
and
mercy.
Jim's a smart guy. He puts Kendra on the top of the hill to
Right.
give the drivers, to give the
Motivation.
climbers a little more motivation.
You want to look at Roadkill or you want to look at Kendra? You know what I'm saying? And
Roadkill's on the bottom. They're running from Roadkill to get up to Kendra.
and you know, in all seriousness, she's a really nice young lady. She's very professional in the radio world, and she gets it. I got to mention something else. We're going to have a pro rider there, pro supercross rider, who just came off the circuit. Cody Gilmore's going to be there.
Okay.
Denny Stevenson's going to be there. Okay,
cool,
Omaha
cool.
Legends. Of course, Gary's going to be here. His lovely daughter, Sarah, who doesn't race anymore, she helps out with the kids. Wendy Weiss Protiva helps out.
Yeah.
And so we send the kids. We have fun. And speaking of kids, we give away 2 bicycles each year. And it's a chase up the hill. Who can touch it first gets the bike. We also
that'd be
have
fun.
Christian Motorcycle Association. If you get there at 8 o'clock, you get pancakes till 10 free.
Yeah.
FREE free.
Good food.
Wow.
Real good food.
So
Denny
this thing kicks
Stevenson,
off-
that's probably the most recognizable name from this area in motocross.
There's no doubt about it. Don, his brother, Danny, what a pair. I mean, they did it all the time, all over the country, and that's good that you mentioned that because we don't have a lot of people pop out of the Omaha area, make the national circuit. And I'm not trying to make Gary, but let me tell you something. These guys have been all over. Widowmaker, all over California, everywhere.
Been
and
to
people
France.
don't realize
France.
Yeah, we went to
The
France 1 year.
commitment.
That's a lot of fun.
and they've done it on their own dime for the most part. They've had several people sponsor them along the way that are big names, but there's not huge money and stuff. And I'm going to tell you right now, what a treat to the Omaha area to still have bikes, alcohol, nitro, Triumph. Gary has nostalgia Triumphs.
Yeah, 2 of them.
Unbelievable stuff. If you come out and you're like, hey, all this new stuff, whatever. Hey, we got 30 nostalgia bikes. Anything from a 2-stroke Husqvarna, a single-cylinder, to Triumphs, Nortons, Harleys, and people get up on the fence for them old bikes, and, I mean, it's neat. Gene,
I might have to come down. So tell me.
let me explain this to you. Ready?
Yeah.
It's so easy. You go up to Missouri Valley. Go up to Missouri Valley, take a right. Go through Missouri Valley to Logan. It's 8 more miles.
Yep.
Logan's really short. If you blink, you miss it. At the end of Logan, take a left at the viaduct. You're in the quarry. You get there. Let's say you get there, mosey in 10, 10:30. You're fine.
Okay.
You're good. The kids are going to run. Now, here's what we do different. We run kids and the pros and the amateurs all at the same time.
Okay.
And it speeds up the process, and it is constant entertainment. We do a kickoff show with fireworks, a national anthem by
You're a big fireworks guy.
Oh, you got to have fireworks.
You've got a certain license, don't
If
you?
it's motorsports, there's got to be fireworks, and
Amen.
you got to have that. All that.
This is America, dang it.
America.
Gotta have
We got it
something
all.
blow
We got
up.
Hot Mom Hula Hoop contest, too. Not to mention a very awesome national anthem sung by a girl that really worked hard out at Millard West to get out here, and I chose her to sing the national anthem. She'll be there.
Okay.
And her name's Jordan. She'll be doing a good job.
So they get up
Fantastic.
there by, 10 o'clock? They're going to make all the racing?
10 o'clock, and here's how I always tell people. If you get there by 10, you're not leaving till the end because you just can't. It's just that much fun. You'll see all the racing. You'll get to see all the kids and the big names, all the nostalgia. Harold will make his exhibition runs, which are incredible. And like I said, it's just 10 o'clock's perfect.
So-
If you get there at noon, you're still good. We fire a second round, and we go noon to 5. I mean, it's good.
Ticket prices?
You know what? The ticket prices are dirt cheap. I'll tell you what. We're $10. We're $10. We're the cheapest thing around. Kids are free, of course.
Yep.
10 and under, or maybe it's 12 and under, are free. But I'll tell you what, we were $5 forever and ever. But we for the show we put on the park area, it's just $10. You get to bring in, a little bit of sandwiches and things of that nature. Legal things.
So you can bring some food in with you?
Oh, yeah, you can
Chairs,
bring anything you want.
We
Bring
do
your back
have
chair,
some
bring your
really.
cooler.
Yeah, and we do have some really good vendors there, so I don't want to take away from them as far as the food and stuff. But your drinks for the day and things of that nature, and of course you get your chair, make yourself comfortable. We usually have some couches set up in the roadkill pit area where you can watch the hill, and it's just a great time, man.
Yeah.
You'll see people that you would never think are going to be there. Lee Ackerman's been there for the Omaha World Herald. You like Lee?
Oh,
You know
Lee. Oh, yeah.
Tom Grasso, Tom. He's going to be there. I throw him the mic for a while.
Is he calling the race?
Calling
the climb?
Yeah, he goes, this is a little different than what we're used to, but it's something I want to try, and he's really good at it.
Yeah, he's a great announcer.
Oh, man, you know what? He's so good.
Awesome.
Is it like a once-a-month deal, just once for the year?
You know,
how often you run this?
I'll tell you how it works. This stuff is so rare around the country. There's several hills that are no longer, okay? You know how land is and people are and insurance and things like that.
Yeah.
Let me tell you how this works. We do it one time and one time only. It's a special treat beginning of the year. We always do it right before or after Easter Sunday. And it's we do it one time because we don't want to saturate it and burn it out. And the effort's incredible. We have 40 volunteers basically in the Hillblazer Motorcycle Club, and we work. Now there is some other hill climbs, and they're in Anamosa, Iowa. Okay. They're in Troy, Kansas. They're in. Does Sturgis still have something, Gary?
No, well, they have the original Sturgis of Jack Pine Gypsies, Billings, Montana, Columbus, Montana, Idaho, Utah no longer. We don't do the Utah one no more. The Widowmaker. They're all over. I mean,
yeah,
we're constantly looking for land, and I'm personally working on a few things, but I got to tell you, it's it's like watching Haley's Comet. If you can get to a hill climb, Lee Ackerman, one of old world.
Guy's seen everything.
He's seen it all, but he never saw a hill climb. And I got him to a hill climb, and you know what? I actually see him with his mouth open, just standing there for 20 minutes. He says, "Roadkill, this might be one of the funnest things I've done in a long time." And
it's great. I mean, people complain about there's too much money in racing and it's too complex. This is getting back to simplicity.
As close as you can. There's because most of the bikes are handmade. Unless you have the money to have someone build it for you, it's all on you. You're the fabricator, you're a welder. You do everything as much as you can in-house. Unless you got deep pockets, then you go from there. But it's what each individual person can come up with.
Yep.
It could be simple as throwing something in the back of your truck and taking off on $20 worth of gas. Or he has a toter, a trailer, and I don't want to tell the man's business, but it's worth way more than my house. Okay?
You got to be comfortable, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that's got to be comfortable. That's got to be key. Do you still get goosebumps when you're sitting there at the bottom of the hill and you're just about ready to drop that clutch and go?
I don't much anymore because it's the kid, but I'm living the life through him.
Okay.
He did make a run on a Nostalgia Triumph 2 years ago, and I'm going to tell you, I saw people that could barely walk, get out of the crowd, come to the fence to see it.
Can we get him on one of these motorcycles and do this ramp over here?
You know what? If Harold was here,
not me.
He already looked it over last night and said,
They just go up. They don't jump down the hill.
I can leave the ground, but when I come back down, it ain't very pretty.
It's never very pretty. All right. Gary Wadell, a second-generation hill climber. You can catch him at the Logan Hill Climb. Get over there about 10:30. You'll catch the entire days of action. $10 adult tickets. Kids get in for free. It's going to be a great family event. Jimmy, always do love having you on the show.
Man, you too. So much for the community. We love the front stretch. You guys are on it. You're doing a great job, man. I don't know how you keep up with it. I look forward to doing the interviews at the NHRA for you guys.
Absolutely. Can't wait to send the stuff down with you. And by the way, scale of 1 to 10, 10 being John Force. Where's he at?
Probably a 10.5.
10.5? Okay. Just checking.
No, thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks so much, Gary.
Get deep quick.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
Every race car driver has run into the same problem. It's well past normal parts store closing hours, but you need that one to finish your car. The guys who brought you White Knuckle Racing by the River bring you Joe's Karting Racing Parts and Tire Store. Open until 10 p.m. Monday to Thursday and open until 11 p.m. on Friday and Saturday. A parts store that fits your after-hours schedule, and you can turn a few laps at Joe's Karting while you're waiting for your part to get pulled from their warehouse. joeskarting.com for more information.
This week's young gun on the front stretch is 19-year-old Neal Nikolight, who's been racing since he started at Mini E and Little Sunset Speedway at the age of 12. Neal kicked off his career in flat karts, winning the Mini E championship in the Junior 2 medium class, and followed it up the next year with the title in the Junior 2 medium and heavy class. After taking a season off, Neal joined the Race Saver class at Eagle Raceway in 2017, where he should be a top contender for Rookie of the Year. 2018 is going to be a big year for Neal. Neal as he is eyeing a top 15 finish in the points at Eagle while traveling to US 36 on select nights for more experience. Neal wants to win a track championship at Eagle Raceway before moving on to the 360 class and competing weekly at Knoxville. Keep your eye out for the 12N Classic Sand and Gravel T&K Pit Stop CK Race Saver driven by Neal Nikolight. This week's Young Gun has been presented by Craig Kelly of Sarah Kelly and Sewell Personal Injury Attorneys.
For almost 70 years, Sarah Kelly Sewell have been Nebraska's premier personal injury firm. Race drivers, fans, and their families have been calling Sunset Speedway's Craig Kelly for over 30 years. The IKS firm focuses first on your healing and appropriate medical care, then they focus on getting you great results. Craig Kelly and his experienced team at IKS stand ready to handle your injury claims in both Nebraska and Iowa. If you or a loved one have been injured, Google Craig Kelly or call him at 402-391-4000.
We're hooked up in turn 2 and still showing the green flag on the front stretch.
This is Mr. Excitement, Chris Abelson. You're tuned into the front stretch.
Welcome back to the front stretch. Heading into turn number 2, and it's time to sit down with Arie Schouten, driver of the number 99 RE Sport Mod throughout the Midwest. We were up at the Precise Racing Products open house just a few weeks ago and got to sit down with a lot of great drivers, and Arie was one of them. And it was just after, Dirk, it was just after his time down at the, the Arizona Sport Mod Tour?
I don't know if they even put Sport Mod in there, but yeah, he was out west.
And,
over the winter.
It was some sort of a mod tour. There was a series of races. I think it was over like a 10 or 15 night race, and there was an accumulation of points.
Correct, yeah. I think it was 2 long weekends with a couple days off in between.
And Arie led for a good portion of it, so he started off his 2018 season on a high note. Wasn't able to take home the championship for that tour, but a good finish and a good show to start off the 2018 season.
Yeah, exactly. I just went out to get the car working, and I was getting text messages saying keep your head up, all this stuff, and I'm not all that sad that I didn't win it. I just went out just to get the car working, and that's what I did.
And it worked.
Yeah, I just happened to get those few nights with good finishes and got me up there in the points lead, and that wasn't what I was going for.
Well, but it's got to be a good feeling to turn around and kick off the season like this, and a good motivator for your local touring.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, most people, they're still waiting for their season to begin, and I already have 10 shows under my belt.
Yeah. Well, we're up here at the Precise Racing Products open house, interviewing a bunch of drivers. How long have you been out here at Precise Racing Products?
Almost a year. I mean, I like it. It's my first job.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't know where else to work.
Yeah. Well, it's good because it's probably got to help you out with being able to get some good pricing on products, because you'll be able to keep an eye on prices for different things throughout the year, and then when you see something drop, then you can jump on it.
Yeah, exactly. So racing say Friday night, and then I wreck something Friday. I just come into work on Saturday, pick up some parts, and go work on it, go race Saturday night.
Yep. Racing the 99 RE again this year. What are your plans? Sticking in the Sport Mod for another year or two, or you maybe starting to work into that modified?
Yeah, I tossed up the idea, maybe towards the end of the season, depending on how it goes. Mm-hmm. Like, if I'm high up in points, I'm not going to drop where I'm at just to go run an A-Mod or anything like that. But maybe for some specials, maybe. If not, we'll see how it goes. If I'm butting around in the back, not where I'd like to be, I may stick with a B-Mod again, but thinking about maybe an A-Mod.
What's your schedule setting up for the year?
I don't really have a set schedule. I'm just going to run wherever I see there's places to run. I'm going to still run 3, at least try for 3 nights, and then specials wherever I can.
And where's your weekly at? I-80, Eagle, and?
I'm not sure yet. We were talking about maybe Nebraska points with US 30, but since they closed down, I'm not sure. It's up in the air.
Yeah, that's going to be tough to do.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like you need to get some more wins under your belt, or maybe even a championship before moving into the modified?
For sure. I mean, it's a huge confidence booster. I don't necessarily need to have it, but it's just for confidence and peace of mind.
It'll look good on your resume if you do.
Yeah, that too.
Anything else going on with the car, with the system? Is your sister racing again?
Yeah, she had my car from last year. I don't know what she's going to do this year. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing as me. It's just up in the air.
What style track do you prefer? Do you like the big wide tracks, or do you prefer kind of a bull ring?
I am definitely a bull ring kind of guy.
Really?
I don't like those big half miles. I'll run them, but it gets spread out and not much racing for me.
It's tough to catch and pass.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you're more of a bull ring kind of a guy, and that's probably why you race Eagle pretty often?
Right.
Yeah, you're off to a big start. You got a lot of fan base built up, so now you got to get website, you got to get merchandise, you got to get licensing and copywriting.
Yeah, I've got a little bit. I haven't really kind of been pushing it all that much. I really need to, but I got a little bit.
I always enjoy watching how family gets involved with the sport, but it kind of feels like it really is ingrained into your family. I mean, very deeply, because your mom's always at the races. Your dad, I saw a very weird thing at the Eagle Raceway banquet. He wasn't dirty.
Yeah.
His hands were clean. He was clean shaven. You know, he gets down and he gets dirty, and every time I see him, which is 99% of the time at a racetrack, he's covered in grease, and he's been doing this and changing that. And
yeah, see, I'm torn because when I'm wearing my suit, my mom, we spend a lot of money on my suit. She gets mad. She don't want me to get it dirty, but at the same time, Dad wants me to work on the car, and I do work on the car as much as I can. Most of the time I work on the car, I get the suit dirty anyways. It's just dirt.
I get, it's amazing how dirty I get just changing a light bulb. Yeah. So I try to, whenever I put nice clothes on, it's like just sit still and don't touch anything.
Right, it still end up dirty though.
Yeah. Are you a hands-on kind of a guy, or do you let your dad do the mechanic side of it?
Oh no, it's all me. This car that I got, I put that thing together. I mean, he helped for sure, but most of the time with him out driving, making money, I was left here to get this thing ready, and I find enjoyment in it. It's nice to sit back and look at it and say, look, I built this with my hands.
Well, I think that even with working here at Precise Racing Products, you understand the little nuances of how parts work. So when something breaks on the racetrack or something's going wrong, I think it's easier for you to diagnose it if you have that mechanical background.
Yeah, for sure. This working here has opened my eyes to a lot of stuff that I didn't know. I can turn around and look at it and say most of these parts will have defects with, or will have their weak point is at this point, this spot.
Yeah. And so you're able to know that ahead of time so that when that fails, you can track it down easily, and it makes that troubleshooting process a lot quicker.
Exactly. That, and trying to find, I can turn around and I can know exactly what part I need, find where the issue is.
Now, just remember, if you ever start deciding to fix and reinvent where those weak spots are, there's a lot of money in that.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, do you have a number of races in the year you're trying to hit to kind of get experience, or?
No, that was more like my first year of racing. We traveled around. We were running for IMCA Rookie, so we traveled around to about 9 or 10 different tracks and got as many shows as we could. I think we got around 80 shows in 1 year. Wow. And so that's most of the time we just try to hit 60, and when we hit 60, we just keep going.
Talk about some of the guys, the sponsors that help you get up and down the road.
My mom and my dad are big help, but CNH Construction, Drew's United Roofing Nebraska, Brown Trucking, Goldfuss Fab, Billy Moyer Victory, anyone that's helped along the way. I know there's a lot I'm missing. Yeah,
well, and there's we always talk about it, those little sponsors that, maybe $100, $200, $300, but it helps out. It buys a pack of hot dogs. It helps you guys with ice in the cooler, anything to help get up and down the road.
Right.
Arie Schouten, driver number 99, Arie in the Sport Mod. Good luck, bud.
Thank you.
This May, experience the suspense as heroes clash metal to metal with heartbreak. Get lost in a drama without the predictable ending. No sappy romance, no special effects. Just one adrenaline-filled night where pure speed drives the plot. Coming soon to a track near you. The Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series Night Race. Only at Kansas Speedway May 12th. Tickets at kansasspeedway.com. Rated U for unexpected.
We all have that coworker that runs their mouth off at how great they are. They shot a 5 under par, 95-mile-an-hour fastball, bench press 375, brah. Wouldn't you love to shut them up by schooling them at Joe's Karting? Council Bluffs' premier indoor karting track, professionally designed so each corner is your opportunity to embarrass your coworker. Call Buddy for your next company outing at 712-256-5278. Joe's Karting, white knuckle racing just across the river on 23rd Avenue next to AMC 17.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak and Lube.
Quaker Steak and Lube is the official watering hole for the front stretch and the best place to catch all the NASCAR action today. Open at 11 a.m. with delivery available to Council Bluffs.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak and Lube.
feather the brake, and get back to the gas. Dan and Dirk are headed into turn 3 on the front stretch.
Hey, this is Ryan Newman, driver of the number 31 Caterpillar Chevrolet, and you're listening to the front stretch.
Rolling into turn number 3, brought to you by Kansas Speedway. Tickets for the spring May race coming up here in just a couple of weeks. The Friday night Camping World Truck Series goes under the lights, and then on Saturday night, the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series heads under the lights. 2-day passes or single race tickets are available at 866-460-RACE. That's 866-460-RACE. Or you can go online, use their interactive website to pick the exact seat that you want at kansasspeedway.com. Also great information on there about race times, schedules, weekend passes. If you're going to buy tickets to the race weekend or even just for the Saturday night race, do yourself a favor and upgrade to the fan walk. Pre-race concerts, you get to watch driver introductions, you get to be out on the starting. I mean, it's so cool.
And also download the parking app when you get there so you're not calling somebody an hour after the race is out trying to find your car. That's a bad deal.
Sounds like you got a little experience with that.
Got a little experience with that, but
not you personally, but you've had to be. You were the one that called.
I got the phone call.
You were the in case of an emergency.
Yeah,
the emergency
we were an hour
contact.
away, and traffic, if you've never been to a race, is exit only after the race. There is no going back in to save somebody. So do yourself a favor and download that app.
At least get your tickets to the Saturday race. Now, it's a Saturday night race. You have plenty of time to get up Saturday morning, drive down to Kansas Speedway, get there at about noon to 1 o'clock. And trust me, even if I think it's a 7 o'clock green flag, you're not going to have enough time to fill in that 6 hours. There's going to be, I'm saying that wrong. There is so much to do that 6 hours is going to fly by between when you get to Kansas Speedway, come into the concourse, see all the Monster Energy exhibits, the 2019 displays for Chevy, Ford, and Toyota, all the excitement, the fan experience, the food, the beer, the in the fan walk. Go down and do the fan walk. That's 6 hours. If you get there at 1 o'clock, it's going to fly by.
Yeah, you can walk down and go into Victory Lane and take your picture in Victory Lane type thing. There's just so much to do. I mean, the one year we went out front, they had a. If you've ever watched the Price is Right with the Blenko game or the Blenko game, they had a Goodyear tire, and you had to walk up some stairs. You were 20 foot in the air, and you drop this tire down this board. So, to win prizes. So they've got all kinds of stuff going on out there.
KansasSpeedway.com or call 866-460-RACE. Again, 866-460-RACE. Joining us on the phone now is the new promoter for Buena Vista Raceway, Joe Ciechanowski.
That I have. So, we're looking forward to our 2018 season and going through the growing pains right now of figuring out what it takes to get that place, the doors open and everything up and rolling.
So from being on the team side and working and doing that stuff with the cars to crossing over to the dark side and being a promoter's been a little more of a challenge than what you were expecting?
Yeah, on the team side, we know what goes into to getting to the racetrack, to rolling through the gate, getting everything unloaded. On the other side, you don't realize of what preparation is to be ready to be the promoter, have the facility up and ready, everything from concession stand, making sure there's beer in the beer stand.
That's very important.
Absolutely. So, everything down to lining up current, setting up direct pay with different food companies and whatnot, releasing our schedule, trying to get that thing put together, nail our specials down, going out, trying to sell sponsorship, trying to get some marketing partners to jump on board with us. And it's been going fairly well up here. We got a good start. We got about 2 months before we're actually going to open our doors. Our test and tune is scheduled for May 23rd. So hopefully between now and then, I've got all my I's dotted and T's crossed.
So what actually got you to this point?
The Fair Board had been running this facility here in town for the last 3 years. They had pretty big shoes to fill when Jeff Herrig from Cookies Food Products decided that he was hanging his hat up as the promoter. And the Fair Board said, we're going to take it over. We're going to give it a shot. And they did okay. There's times it could have been better. They've had some rough goes. And they kind of just did the same deal. We're going to hang our hat up. And, of course, the ball got rolled into my court. And I said, quite frankly, I'm a little scared of it, and I said, if you guys can go out, look for a veteran, look for somebody, I'll help you and make some of these decisions. I feel like I know some good guys. I feel like I've raced, or we've raced for some good guys. I can help you, maybe make some better decisions, and we'll move forward that way. Well, a couple weeks later, they said, we can't get no interest. And I'm like, all right. So then we started kicking numbers around.
Now, do you think they actually looked, or did they just wait a couple of weeks and be like, we're just going to get this schlub over here to do it?
I don't know. I think they probably knew in the back of their heads that we've got him pushed in the corner a little bit, that he's a hometown guy. He loves this town. He loves this racetrack. We probably got him hook, line, sinker, but whether they did or not, I'm not for sure. But so it turned around, and I rolled the ball back to them. They rolled it back at me. We came to an agreement. I feel it's pretty lucrative for both of us as far as trying to keep the doors open at this place. It's an awesome racetrack, 52-year-old facility that it needs some TLC. We got some big ideas up here for this year with trying to add a VIP booth, trying to do some things to bring some people back in here. We're going to have some bike giveaways. We're going to do the nickel toss. We're going to do some of the traditional things they've done in the past, but we're going to try to bring some new things to the table as well.
So your history in racing, I mean, you're not some Johnny-come-lately that knows how to run a business but has never run a track before. You've actually been in the racing community for quite a while.
Yeah, I think I've been around the racing community now for about 13 years as far as professionally, I would say. If you take the 4 off in college when I was, cutting my teeth, if you will, you take them off. I'm around that 10-year mark, I would say, of doing it on a professional, everyday type experience. Like today, Corey's over here working at the shop. We're putting together race cars. I've been on the phone all day with other racers. We're trying to put together a new track sanctioned class. We've had a couple drivers in here today asking questions about that. I feel like we got a lot of good resources in the network that we've created between myself and Corey, and you guys know as good as I do the people you meet along the way in racing, and we're a big family, and you can always call for help, and I'm going to rely on a lot of those people that I've watched from a distance, but I'm good friends with as well. I'm going to have to go to the bullpen, if you will, a few times probably throughout the year, and to make good decisions. I think that just having that ability to do that is really gonna help us do a good job over here.
I think you guys down there at Buena Vista Raceway, known as the Beaver, are as far as I can think of, and that's pretty limited. But I believe you guys are the only Wednesday night track in the area.
Yes, we are. Yeah, we Wednesday nights all ours. So we're looking forward to that. We hope we get a good draw of cars from a distance because of that. Oskaloosa is the only other track, I believe, in the state of Iowa, and they're probably an hour and a half from Des Moines, and we're good, strong 2 hours from Des Moines, so we really don't affect each other very well. I know that they got a same type of deal going on down there this year. Young promoter, new promoter coming in, so but we're both on Wednesday nights. I think we can work. Obviously we're far away from each other, so
about a 3.5 hour difference between the two is what I'm gathering there. That should probably be enough to where you're not going to be stepping on each other's toes.
Not fighting for cars too much.
Yeah, absolutely.
And honestly, I kind of like the idea of a Wednesday night race because first off, you're up against it with getting drivers there and getting them checked in. What, races probably start 7:15?
We shoot to have the drivers' meeting start at 6:30, hot laps at 6:45, racing to follow.
You guys have pretty much got to be up on your game because you don't want people there at 10, 10:30, or 11 o'clock on a Wednesday night. Everyone's got work the next morning.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's one good thing that the Fair Board has done in the past as well. Is we run a quick program. We try to have everyone out of there at the latest 10 o'clock. We shoot for 9:30. And, pending weather, pending track conditions, those things can change, slow you down a little bit. But for the most part, man, they've run a streamlined show in the last 3 years, and we're going to follow that. We're going to follow that as close as we can.
Racers like it 90% of the time, unless they get a breakage or something where they're thrashing on the car, and can't make their B or can't make their A, whatever it happens to be. But most of the time, the racers like quick show, too.
Yep. And Wednesday night being, that's huge for us. That was their big concern. concern, was can you have us out of there at a decent time so we're home before, 11:30, midnight, So I know it's an issue. I know that's something we're going to focus on. I went down and spoke with Jeff Herrig at Cookies. I spent 4 hours down there with him, and he was going through, man, he had it down to a T of what time this ran. He had notes in his phone from 2014 still of what the dew point was, what the temperature was, and he goes, man, you just gotta stay on top of your game. You gotta know, okay, we're 5 minutes behind. We gotta be able to speed the show up, get it back on track so we can get these guys out of here.
Well, I know I worked for Craig Kelly out at Sunset Speedway when I first got involved with tech and stuff, and he knew it took, 38 seconds to run a pace lap. So when the cars came out, and they would come out in 1 and 2, and when they come down the back stretch, they better be lined up, because when they come out of 4, it's going to be green flag time. He's not going to waste and let them go another lap, and it just all adds up by the end of the night.
Talking with Joey Ciechanowski, the new promoter for Buena Vista Raceway in Alta, Iowa, known as the Beaver. Talk about your guys' classes. Any changes coming from 2017 into 2018 as far as the classes that are going to be competing on Wednesday nights?
No, we're trying to add, a few years ago, we used to have a track sanctioned class called Bombers. Other than that, we're going to run our IMCA Sport Compact, Hobby Stocks. We'll run the North Central Line Service, stock cars, Sport Mods, and then our modified class. We will be June 6th. We are running a Race Saver Sprint Car race, a 305 Race Saver race, and possibly, if it goes well, we kind of got them penciled in, slated in for season championship August 15th.
Awesome.
To bring them back again for a second night. So that's going to be something new for us here at the Beaver, and we just we've had a lot of people from the city, from Storm Lake, Cherokee that have they've kind of asked for it, so we're going to try to give it to them. As far as the sprint car race go, and see how it goes.
Sounded like you had 4 of your 5 weekly classes, but 4 of them yet still looking for a title sponsor.
That's correct. Yeah, we're pounding the pavement pretty hard right now, out trying to find class sponsors, trying to sell race night stuff. We got our different size billboard packages out there. I think we've got one night left that we're looking for a title sponsor for, and that's our Dirt Night televised tour race. It's also a Fast Shafts All-Star qualifier for our modified. That night is still available, and they will be, broadcasted live on IMCA TV. It'll also be re-aired in 2019 on the Dirt Nights television show that airs on MAV television.
How can people get a hold of you if they want to get more information? Should they contact you through the website, or does Facebook work?
Either or. Facebook, our BuenaVistaRaceway.com, our track phone, 712-299-5573. Feel free to give us a call anytime. You got any questions, concerns, wondering about our schedule, what the weather's doing. We got someone coming from the Omaha area. They're running a little bit behind. Feel free to give me a call. I'll get the draw done for you. We'll be ready for you to pull in, unload, and hit the racetrack.
Test and Tune is May 23rd. Season kicks off May 30th, and looks like you got some pretty good nights lined up. Do appreciate your time, Joey.
Thank you guys very much.
Good luck this season. We'll check in with you shortly, all right?
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Bye.
Thanks, Joey.
BuenaVistaRaceway.com for more information. Find them on Facebook, and head over to the Beaver. Get them checked out. Again, May 23rd, Test and Tune. May 30th is the season opener. We're going to take a break. We'll be back here on the Front Stretch.
For almost 70 years, in Sarah, Kelly Sewell have been Nebraska's premier personal injury firm. Race drivers, fans, and their families have been calling Sunset Speedway's Craig Kelly for over 30 years. The IKS firm focuses first on your healing and appropriate medical care, then they focus on getting you great results. Craig Kelly and his experienced team at IKS stand ready to handle your injury claims in both Nebraska and Iowa. If you or a loved one have been injured, Google Craig Kelly or call him at 402-391-4000.
This May, experience the suspense as heroes clash metal to metal with heartbreak. Get lost in a drama without the predictable ending. No sappy romance, no special effects. Just one adrenaline-filled night where pure speed drives the plot. Coming soon to a track near you. The Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series night race. Only at Kansas Speedway May 12th. Tickets at KansasSpeedway.com. Rated U for unexpected.
Hey, look at that. You're sitting on your couch playing Halo, Madden, or NASCAR while your friends are at Joe's Karting. Each lap is an adrenaline-filled, heart-pumping, white-knuckle experience that you can only get at the Metro's largest indoor karting track. Eco-friendly Honda engines rip you around the professionally designed road course at breakneck speeds. Can you reach the 14-second lap bracket? There's only one way to find out. Put the controller down and get to Joe's Karting, 23rd Avenue in Council Bluffs next to Quaker Steak and Lube.
It's checkers or wreckers as we enter turn 4 on the front stretch, presented by Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs.
Hi, Dave Despain with MAV TV, which is your television destination if you're looking for motorsports. Radio, you found it. You're listening to the front stretch.
Welcome back to it, race fans. Rolling into turn number 4, brought to you by Quaker Steak and Lube, the official watering hole of the front stretch. Well, after a week off, we finally get back to NASCAR action. It was a good week off, though. I used it very, very nicely.
Oh, I just went over to my brother's in-laws, and I just walked in the door and started eating and quit eating when I left.
Yeah, that's kind of the way with my family. They finally pulled the plate out from underneath me, and I was like, all right, I'll go home. Good Easter weekend, though. Hope everybody enjoyed it. Welcome back to it. Texas this weekend. Coverage is on FS1 and PRN starting at noon. Picks are due by, I believe, noon on Sunday, noon today. So make sure you get your picks in on time, and make sure to do that on the Pick'ems Contest website. If you want to get over and watch all the big screen action at Quaker Steak and Lube, you can do it starting at noon today with the coverage. By the way, I figured this out just recently. Fox Sports 1 does broadcast the NASCAR races live over streaming services. For instance, soon I will be a PlayStation Vue subscriber for $40 a month, and I'm going to get all of the streaming access to the NASCAR races as long as they're on NBC, NBC Sports, or Fox Sports 1. The only time I'm going to miss out is on Fox when it's on the main network of Fox, which will be about 4 races following this, and I'll just go down to Quaker Steak and Lube and enjoy it and not pay an outrageous amount for Dish. Well,
just go buy the antenna.
Yeah, you can do that too.
And get regular Fox.
Get the over-the-air antenna, also known as the OTA.
$40-$50 one-time fee.
So, by the way, if anybody complains about not being able to get a Fox Sports 1 in your area, there is the ability to get it, and it's pretty reasonably priced. I'm definitely switching to it. I'm going to save myself about $80 a month.
But you also need a smart TV, correct, or no?
Yes, you do. That's true. You do need some sort of smart TV and or PlayStation that connects to a TV, so you can use your PlayStation as your
modem,
cable box, whatever it be. All right, all the action today, again, on the big screens at Quaker Steak and Lube in Council Bluffs. Let's get you set for race number 7 in the NASCAR Cup Series, Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series schedule. This time last year, this race number 7, the O'Reilly Auto Parts 500 at Texas Motor Speedway. Remind me, Dirk, I know they repaved the track. Was this in the off-season between 16 and 17, or did they repave it between race number 7 and race number 34 at Texas Motor Speedway?
I do believe they had repaved it in the off-season.
I think you're...
I'm not positive, but I believe it was done off-season.
So Jimmy Johnson ends up getting the win over Kyle Larson, Joey Logano, Kevin Harvick, and Dale Earnhardt Jr., who all finished top 5. Brad Keselowski finished 6th, Jamie Mack 7th, Martin Truex Jr. 8th, Chase Elliott 9th, and Kurt Busch finished 10th. Very strong day for 12th place finisher Ryan Blaney, who won Stage 1 and Stage 2. Looked like he had the car to win, but I was just going back and recapping what happened to him. There was a late caution on lap 299 with some debris I think it was in turn 3 or 4, and brought out the late caution. So everyone asked themselves, what are we going to do? Do we stay out and try to risk it on older tires? Do we come in and get 2, or do we come in and get 4? A lot of guys came in. Blaney overshot his pit and as a result fell way back in the standings. Jimmy Johnson got all 4 and came out, I believe, just a few cars behind Joey Logano, who ended up staying out with older tires. Logano was able to hold on to that lead for about 15 laps before Johnson was able to get by him and get the win. Johnson had the biggest points of the day at 49 as he finished stage number 2 in that second position. Interestingly enough, Johnson in happy hour tagged the wall and was forced to do some unapproved repairs to his car, so he had to go to the back of the field. He officially started 24th in that 48 car, so that's the reason why he didn't finish in the top 10 in stage number 1, but able to finish stage number 2 in that second position and get the win. So good day for him.
Yeah, and you'll have to forgive us since we do pre-record. We don't know what the lineup is yet for the show, or what kind of wonderful fun and games went on during qualifying for Texas. So
that's really going to be the question, is it? I mean, if NASCAR has finally got a handle on this tech inspection, this pre-qualifying inspection, the pre-race inspection, if there's going to be more shenanigans and more whoop-de-doos that are going to have to be implemented into the. I just use whoop-de-doo as a farmer word. My dad used to make up those words all the time. I do greatly apologize.
It is a
that.
motocross word, just to let you know.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, you're legal in motocross with that word because it is a term. But no, we don't know if they're going to run the qualifying like they did at Martinsville, as far as the inspection, where they just let them qualify and then inspect it all just pre-race and go that route. I don't see them doing that at Texas, just because it's it's a high-speed track where aero is a big deal, where at Martinsville that wasn't a big deal, so they weren't too worried about it. And so we don't know if a bunch of guys will want to sit out so they have fresh tires, even though the track's not a big tire eater yet. It will be once it wears in a little bit. Or if they'll make guys that don't make a qualifying attempt do a pass-through penalty at the end of the first green flag lap. We have no idea what's going on there.
I imagine that NASCAR's got a card in their back pocket that they will play if they have to.
They've got the whole deck.
If the drivers,
not a card,
like they did at Auto Club, this is what we're talking about. What happened at Auto Club? There was 13 cars that didn't even attempt a third inspection process, didn't even make a third inspection process. They were failing twice, and that threw up a big red flag to NASCAR that there was something going on. These cars were failing inspection on purpose so that they didn't have to go out and qualify and wear down their tires that they are forced by rules to start on at the beginning of the race. So what we're talking about here is this same shenanigans going to happen? And I think that if it does happen, that NASCAR will pull out a new rule and say, all right, you guys forced our hands. We've got to do this now. So here's the new rule. And we've heard that it's going to be something in the lines of those that don't qualify and pass qualifying inspection or make a qualifying lap will be forced to make a drive-through penalty on the green flag lap. Something to that effect. So then it will be a big penalty for them which they were trying to avoid with saving the wear on their tires. Speaking of the wear on their tires and speaking of the new pavement, with it being repaved last year, it was kind of a rough race. And we know this. When a track has to repave, it's a rough race for a couple of races. And now we're into the third race of the repave, and they have used the tire dragon for the last couple of weeks, trying to wear that surface down just a little bit so that it's a little more abrasive for the tires. They wear a little bit more. There's less grip and there's less speed.
Yeah, I mean, it's still going to be a fast track. I mean, it's incredibly fast. Kevin Harvick is going to be incredibly fast, as he has been lately.
Yep.
This might wake up Clint Boyer. Martin Truex is going to be good. Jimmy Johnson, again, we don't know where these new Camaro bodies are sitting, so we don't know what the Chevy camp's going to do for sure.
Yeah, and we talked about it last weekend with Chad Robb, and we've speculated with it. This is going to be a big weekend for Chevy. They've had a weekend off. They've had 6 races to process the new body. They've had a weekend off. I don't know if you're going to see a big change out of Chevy, but this could be the beginning of the change, where we're going to start hitting a couple of races where they've got to start finding their groove, and they've got to start finding the top 5 a little more frequently and more abundantly with all of their cars. Going through some of the results for this race last year, continuing bad days for Casey Kane, Austin Dillon, Denny Hamlin, and Eric Jones. Kane finished 38th, Dillon 33rd, Denny Hamlin 25th, and Eric Jones 22nd. Everybody else pretty much finished in the top 15 where you would expect them. This race in the playoffs last year, race number 34 in the 2017 season. It was the AAA Texas 500. Kevin Harvick was the race winner after finishing stage 1, winning stage 1, finishing second in stage 2, and then again winning the race. Took home 59 points on the day. Martin Truex Jr. in second, Denny Hamlin in third, Matt Kenseth in fourth, and Brad Keselowski rounded out your top 5. Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano, Chase Elliott, Kurt Busch, and Eric Jones top 10s. Bad days for Kyle Larson, who finished 37th, Clint Boyer 36th, Jimmy Johnson, who finished 27th, and Kyle Busch, who finished 19th.
And if I remember correctly, Harvick kind of just motored on by Truex in that race, did he not?
He did. That was one of them that Chad had talked about last weekend, which, by the way, I should say, we apologize for the technical glitch with Chad's interview not airing last weekend, but we did put it up on the YouTube channel. If you missed it, I highly suggest you go back because Chad's always got some great stuff there. Plus, there's always some extended interviews as a part of those shows. But, yeah, that was the race that Martin Truex Jr. actually led 4 times for 107 laps. Kevin Harvick only led 5 times for 38 laps, but ended up walking away with 6 bonus playoff points. Yeah, to answer your question, yeah, that was the race that Kevin just methodically ran him down, got by him pretty easily, and then put him in his rearview mirror with really not much of a fight. And that was kind of where Chad speculated that things started to come off the rails just a little bit for the 78 team, where they almost lost that swagger, that aggression that we'd seen them have all year long. And they ended up going on to Homestead, obviously winning the championship. But even though they're high in the points right now, they don't seem to have that constantly there momentum. You know, that they were always in the top 5 every single race last year. Well, not every single race, but majority of the races.
And, I mean, they've been running good this year. They got the win in California, and they've been on the pole. Well, they won 2 consecutive poles and got the pole at Martinsville due to the rain. Mm-hmm. But he wasn't Martin Truex in Martinsville.
Yeah.
You know, that's for sure. He was at California. He won the race, and he ran competitive at I think everywhere else. He was competitive at Phoenix. He was competitive at Las Vegas. So, you know, it's not like he's been, running around the back, and, just trying to stay on the lead lap,
They set a pretty high bar last year. And
high.
It's very quickly, I mean, I'm talking about an 8 or 9 race window that we're talking about them being off. And I'm talking just a little bit. If they were at 10 last year, they're running at about an 8.
Right.
Which, I mean, they just blew the competition away at a 10 last year, winning the championship by a wide margin. But, it's just, he's, like I said, they were a 10, they're an 8 now. That's still a winning formula. That's still a championship quality team. Just a little bit off right now. And then again, we're 6 races into the season, so who knows what's going to happen. All right, the race today, again, all the coverage is on Fox Sports 1 and PRN. You can catch it on the big screens at Quaker Steak and Lube in Council Bluffs. Get all the action at about noon for today's O'Reilly Auto Parts 500 at Texas Motor Speedway. That's gonna do it for us. We'll be back next weekend to sit down with Stan Caesar to preview the Eagle Raceway's schedule, and PJ Pedersen to preview the Crawford County Speedway schedule. Plus, we'll recap Texas, and we'll preview 2 races, Bristol and Richmond, because one's a Saturday night race and one's a Sunday race. All right, we'll be back next week and do it all over again. For Dirk Houston, I'm Dan Taylor. I could use another day off. We'll see you next weekend. This has been the Front Stretch, presented by Joe's Karting on AM 590, Omaha's ESPN Radio.
Every race car driver has run into the same problem. It's well past normal parts store closing hours, but you need that one to finish your car. The guys who brought you white knuckle racing by the river bring you Joe's Karting Racing Parts and Tire Store. Open until 10 p.m. Monday to Thursday and open until 11 p.m. on Friday and Saturday. A parts store that fits your after-hours schedule, and you can turn a few laps at Joe's Karting while you're waiting for your part to get pulled from their warehouse. joeskarting.com for more information.
The official watering hole of the Front Stretch has you covered any day of the week with the best wings, great burgers, and amazing steaks. Each weekday from 4 to 6 is happy hour, featuring $1 off draft and well drinks plus $4 Luberitas. Mondays are kids' night. Tuesdays are all-you-can-eat wings for $12.95, and the lube even delivers to the Council Bluffs area. Like Quaker Steak and Lube Council Bluffs on Facebook for a full list of weekly events.
Get to Quaker Steak and Lube.
Mid-America Drive, Council Bluffs.
Soon the flowers will be blooming, and we'll all be busy enjoying the beautiful Midwest spring. With the arrival of spring, we all know ridiculous summer heat is just around the corner. A simple preventative maintenance plan from Eccles Heating and Cooling can make sure you're as cool as a cucumber during the hot summer months. Call Pat today for your preventative maintenance plan, or ask about a new energy-efficient TempStar HVAC. Eccles Heating and Cooling is there for you at 402-331-1755.
This has been the Front Stretch Radio Show, presented by Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs. To contact Dan or Dirk, find them on Facebook at The Front Stretch, or email them at frontstretch590@gmail.com. If you missed any part of today's show or want to hear a previous show, subscribe to the Joe's Karting YouTube page, where you can find almost every Front Stretch show.